Again, our scripture text today is coming from Exodus 4, and we're going to read verses 10 through 12 in your hearing. And it reads, "And Moses said unto the Lord, O my Lord, I am not eloquent, neither hitherfore, nor since thou hast spoken unto thy servant, but I am slow of speech and slow of tongue. And the Lord said unto him, Who has made man's mouth? Or who maketh the dumb, or deaf, or the seeing, or the blind? Have not I the Lord? Now, therefore, go, and I will be with thy mouth, and teach thee what thou shalt say." And if I could use for a subject message today, I would like to use for a subject message, when God is with you. When God is with you. And most of us know how it feels to have that one person that you will go anywhere with. Come on, does anybody have those kind of people in your life? You will just about go anywhere with them. They're so versatile, they're so calm, and they're so poised. They're so poised that in any circumstances, you trust the way that they will handle the situation. Or you trust so much in the way that they carry themselves that you know that however they handle it, it's going to be favorable. Come on. Does anybody have those kind of people that you will just go anywhere because you trust the way that they handle things, or that person you will just call because you have that confidence in them that the way that they handle stuff is going to work out favorable. Even, if it doesn't look like it at first, you just trust and you just know that they have a way to handle things that is going to be favorable for you. And you are not even focused on the problem or the danger or the threat more so than you are their ability. You know that whenever they handle things, even if it was not in your favor at first, by the time they finish with it, or by the time they finish doing whatever that they do, that you trust them to do, then it's not going to be as bad as it was before they got on the situation. And in order to have that kind of confidence, that's a thing that's called trust. A certain level of trust is required in order to employ that kind of person. And it's going to be difficult whenever to trust a person like that if you don't have a relationship with them. And most of us that have those kind of people in our lives, we have a relationship with those people. Can I get some people that can agree with that? That person that you trust to that level, you have a relationship with them. Come on, you might not talk to them every day, but you talk to them on a consistent basis. Come on, we talk, we're there. So I trust them that relationship is there, to the point that when we do run into those types of situations, I know that they gonna do what they do when they do what they do. And one thing I want to tell you about that kind of person is, again, wherever you see that kind of trust, that means that person, those two people or those individuals, they have a certain level of relationship. They have spent time with each other. Like I said, they may not talk to each other every day. I have a couple of people in my life like that. I may not talk to them every day, but I'll tell you what, there's not a long lapse in time that I go without talking with them and or communing with them. I make sure that we stay in touch because I'm trying to make sure that relationship, that confidence in that relationship is there. And again, trust is needed. Trust is needed. And trust will always, I want y'all to catch this, trust will always be breached when the focus is placed on a particular individual more so than the individuals in the relationship. I want you to look at it wherever, if you've ever been hurt by somebody or you've ever been disappointed by somebody, basically what you will find at the root of that is that the relationship, the trust and the relationship has shifted to being more about what one person wants, more so than what is best for the relationship. Come on here. I just want y'all to just go back and think on some relationships that, you've been disappointed in, or you've been hurt by some people in a relationship. And wherever you find that hurt, wherever you find that breach of trust, sometimes people say at the beginning of a relationship, I won't do this to you, or I won't do that to you, and this won't ever happen, or that won't ever happen. And then when it does happen, you can always most certainly go back and pinpoint that pivot in the relationship to where it became more about one person than it did the individuals. Oh my God. Did y'all just catch that? Because sometimes you're wondering, like, how can a person do this to me? Or how can a person do that to me? And they said, has anybody ever experienced that? Well, they said they wouldn't do this, and they said they wouldn't never hurt me. I told them about my past relationships, and, they said they would never do this. But then when something in the relationship pivoted and changed, and it became more about that particular person getting what they want, that is where the breach of trust came in at. That is where the hurt came in at. That is where the root of hurt came in at, is when they got to a place in their life that it became more about them than it did the relationship. Oh my God. Catch that. And sometimes what we're not conscious of is people be showing us signs. Woo, come on. Sometimes people be showing us signs that there is getting ready to be a breach in the trust that we have worked so hard to obtain. And sometimes because it's not the truth that we want to accept, we will overlook the signs that they are showing us. When somebody starts being selfish. Come on. When somebody starts changing on you. When their demeanor has taken a different approach. But because of who it is, sometimes we will overlook that. But sometimes those are also signs that you need to prepare yourself, because there's about to be a breach in the trust that we have established. I just want to read that statement to you again for my note takers. Write this down. Trust will always be breached when more focus is placed on a particular individual. Singular. When more focus is placed on a particular individual, more so than the individuals, plural, in the relationship. And in order for trust to prevail, watch this, in order for trust to prevail, it cannot be all about one person getting what they want. Woo, oh my God. In order for trust to prevail, and in order for trust to be the strong foundation that keeps the relationship intact, it cannot be all about one person. Whenever it is about mainly one person in the relationship, you can expect that ship to go down real fast, quick, and in a hurry. Then you're going to start being lied to. Come on. Oh my God. Then you're going to start being manipulated when it becomes about one person. You might be like, well, Pastor Fran, why is this important? Because I want to give you this layout, because this layout will help you in every area of your life. It will help you spiritually, physically, emotionally. It will even help you in your personal relationships with people. It will help you in your marriage. It will help you on your job. It will help you with your children. Come on. You start to see little signs. You start to see things that are changing. Then you have to make those adjustments. And anytime we don't make those adjustments and deal with truth, then we're only setting ourselves up for heartache, pain, frustration, and disappointment. Because oftentimes we think just because we have been in a relationship with somebody, that means that, trust is going to automatically be there. No, you got to work at making trust a priority. Woo, oh my God. And in order for trust to be a priority, it cannot be all about you. It cannot be all about what you want. It cannot be all about what you desire. And oftentimes we don't realize that the first thing that we do is say, well, I gave this much when you wanted something. No, trust does not keep tabs on, what I did. Ooh. I'm going to say that again. Trust does not keep tabs. Because the only thing that trust prioritizes is making sure that the relationship works. Oh my God. Write that down. That's all trust focuses on. That's trust's main focal point, is making sure that the relationship works. You're not keeping tabs on who did what and how many times we did what when you are really trusting. And when your focus is really on the relationship, watch this, when the focus is really on the relationship, that means sometimes I got to do stuff that's not even comfortable. I got to do stuff that I don't even want to do if I value this relationship. So that means there are some things that I have to refrain from. There are some things that I can't say. There are some things that I can't do. There are some things I'm not willing to do in order to make this relationship work. And as we get into our text, we're going to see and we're going to look at the relationship between Moses and God. And we know that Moses was called by God. And Moses, God told Moses in Exodus 3:11, he told Moses, he said, I'm with you. He said, I am with you. How many of us love when God tells us that he is with us? We just appreciate when God says that he is with us. He's that person that we will go to any situation, go through any situation and circumstance with when trust is intact. Did y'all catch that? When trust is intact, there is no situation that we won't go through because we know that God is with us. And Moses started out in this relationship, and Moses is giving God reasons and excuses. Come on here. Can anybody relate to that? There's sometimes I've given God valid reasons, but there's also been times I've given God excuses. Moses was giving God reasons and excuses. And we're going to deal mostly with the excuses that Moses was giving God, and why Moses was giving God the excuses that he was giving God. And again, in Exodus 3:11, God told Moses, he said, I'm with you. When he first called him, he said, I am with you. I'm with you. And the relationship has been built, and Moses knew that God was with him. There were some punishments and there were some things that Moses should have encountered, but God did not allow Moses to fully encounter those things because he had a greater purpose and plan for his life. Do you know there are some things in our life that we have not gotten the full penalty of because God has a purpose and a plan for our life? Come on here. Come on. Does anybody know what it's like to get a grace pass on something? I didn't get what I should have got because God looked at the relationship and said, I got something more important that I want them to do other than just, completely giving them the full penalty. I'm going to let them deal with some of the penalty of it, but not the whole penalty of it, because I need to preserve them for what we have to do. And here it is in the relationship. God is telling Moses, he said, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. And I can imagine how Moses felt. He was like real, oh man, that's good. That's good. We can do this. But then as God keeps giving Moses instructions and telling Moses what to do, Moses starts to tell God what he doesn't have. Can anybody relate to that? God has told you to do something, and then the first thing you do is start telling God what you don't have. You start telling God what you are in lack of. You start telling God what you need. And then if you are not careful, if we are not careful, let's just be honest with it and make me inclusive in this, because watch this. Moses could not deal with the people until God dealt with Moses. Uh-oh, did somebody catch that? Moses couldn't encourage the people until he first let God encourage him. So I'm not exempt from that either. And here it is. Oftentimes we have those moments just like Moses did. God tells us to do something, and then we start telling God what it is that we don't have. And then we also come up with ways that we think that God should do it. Can anybody else relate to that? Because as God is telling Moses to go before the children of Israel, Moses said, God, and God tells Moses, he said, I'm going to be with you. I'm going to speak through you. But then Moses' response was to God, he said, I don't speak well. He said, I used to speak fluent in this particular language. He said, but because I have not used it in, about 40 years, he said, I'm not as fluent in that language. So you may want to get somebody else to do it. Can anybody else relate to that? God said, I want to use you in something, but then you start telling God what you haven't done in a long time and how influent you are. Not fluent, but influent you are. And you start to tell God all of the reasons that why he should choose somebody else to do it. And we're at this point now with Moses where he is telling God, he said, I'm not fluent in this. Can you get my brother to do this? Because he talks better than I do. He talks better than I do. He talks better than I do. Have you ever looked at your situation and said, God, they better than I am. Why didn't you use them? Or God, they seem to have a deeper prayer life, or they seem to be more churchy than I am. And God, why did you call me? Or why did you use me? Or God, if God has challenged you to, let's just say you got $20 and God tells you to give somebody 5 of it or 10 of it. And you're like, God, this is all I got for this week. You sure you want me to give it to them? I'm sure, Aretta got a little bit more than somebody else. Can Aretta give it to him? And Moses is having that type of moment. Have you ever had that moment where God has told you to do something or say something and you just feel like you can't do it? Or you feel like he should have got somebody else to do it? And oftentimes we get to that place, at that point in our life, is because, watch this, we are looking at what we have instead of what he wants to give us. Woo, come on here. Did somebody just catch that? Because Pastor Fran just threw you something. Now I want to bring it to a relationship perspective. Here it is in the relationship. God is telling you, I want you to use what you have. I want you to use what you have. And he said, I got you. I'm with you. But oftentimes what happens to us is we take the focus off God being with us and we put the focus on using what he has required of us. And then watch this, our attention shifts from the relationship to us. Ooh, somebody just say, God help me. God help me. Because notice what's happening to us. A lot of times when God is challenging us and when God is trying to move us into a different faith level, or God is trying to use us to do something in the earth realm, if we are not careful, the attention will shift from the relationship and the trust in the relationship to it being about me. Has anybody else ever done that besides Pastor Fran? God has told you to do something and then you start looking at what your attention shifts immediately from the relationship and the trust in the relationship. Watch this. Trust is there, but watch this. Whenever God tells me to do something, if I am not careful, my attention will shift from what he said and the trust in what he said to how it makes me feel and how inconvenienced I might be and how uncomfortable I might be with doing what he told me to do. And so therefore it moves my attention from the relationship and the trust, and it makes me operate in something called selfishness. I'm dealing with a moment of temporary selfishness. Because now in the relationship, it has become more about me than it has the trust and the other person that I'm in the relationship with, which in this case is God. Somebody just say, help me. Type it over in the chat section and type it for me, Antonio, because I'm going to be the first one. I'm going to say, God, help me. Help me for the times that you tell me to do something. And if I'm not careful, my attention will shift from the trust in the relationship that I have with you. And it will go to me. I start thinking about how what I want out of it and how I would like for him to do it and how I wish he would do it. And most of the time when I'm wishing that he would do it a certain way, it's actually taking the stress and the strain and the discomfort away from me. And Moses has found himself in that position. And in our text, Moses, he said unto the Lord, he said, "Oh, my Lord, I am not eloquent." And right now, Moses is making up excuses instead of getting to the real root of what is ailing him. Come on here. And if you stay in this thing long enough, hopefully we will actually look at some of the things that we have said to God and find the root of it. Because as Moses keeps talking and as Moses keeps displaying and keeps disclosing what is on his heart, he gets to the real root of it. Moses is basically saying, God, I'm uncomfortable with what you told me to do. I don't want to be discomforted in what you told me to do. I'm good with doing whatever you tell me to do as long as it makes me look strong and as long as it makes me look like, I got it all together. But God, sometimes I'm just like, I just don't want to look like I don't know what I'm doing. And watch this. Sometimes we get caught up with the look of not knowing what we're doing instead of, watch this, making ourselves available. Ooh, come on here. You got to be disciplined in order to get your mind to shift from going from what it looks like and dealing with your own personal insecurities and moving in a confidence of the person that you are in the relationship with. That's all God is trying to get us to the place where he said, I want you to move in the confidence of the relationship that we have built together. I know he didn't even ask Moses to have all the answers. Because if you look at what he told Moses and the Lord, and watch this, verse 10, and it says, and Moses said unto the Lord, "O my Lord, I am not eloquent, neither therefore nor since thou hast spoken unto thy servant." He said, "But I am slow in speech and slow of tongue." Watch this, verse 11. And the Lord said unto him, "Who has made man's mouth, or who maketh dumb or deaf or the seeing or the blind? Have not I the Lord?" Verse 12, he says, "Now therefore go, and I will be with thy mouth, and I will teach thee what thou shalt say." Oh my God. Because watch this. If we are not careful, we will be thinking that we have to have all the answers. God is not asking us to have all the answers. God is saying, if you will make yourself available, I will be with you. Woo, oh my God. And how many times have we been tripped up by, sometimes it's not even our external enemy, it's our internal enemy, making us think that we are inadequate because I don't know what to say, I don't know what to do. And all God has told Moses, he said, all I've asked you to do is go. I didn't ask you to have the answers. I didn't ask you to have it all figured out. I didn't ask you to know everything to say. All I asked you to do was be available. Woo, oh my God. And sometimes my internal enemy, not my external enemy, my internal enemy is fighting me. It's telling me that what make you think God want to use you for that? But the thing is, We got to learn how to respond appropriately. I'm available, God. Don't even address the enemy. God, I am available. I just need for somebody to type that over in the chat section. If you know that God has called you to do something that, watch this, you don't even have all the answers to. You don't even know how this thing is going to turn out. All you know is that he told you to go. And all you got to do is make sure that you are available. God, I'm not giving you any more excuses. I'm not asking you to send anybody else. What I'm doing on today is, God, I'm positioning myself and I'm making myself available. I know I might, make a mistake in this, but I'm available, God. I don't know all the answers, and you didn't require for me to have all the answers, but I am available. Yes, God, I'm even scared sometimes at how people might perceive me. They gonna ask me who sent you. They gonna ask you what name sent you. All I know, God, I'm available. Oh my God, I want y'all to look at two words. Type that again out, Tonio. God, I am available. I want y'all to look at what you're doing when you say, God, I am available. You are taking on his character, because last week we preached about him being the I am. Come on here. Or the week before, not too long ago, a couple of messages ago, we preached about him being the I am. Come on here. And all you are doing is, when you say, God, I am available, all you're doing is taking on the character of the I am. I'm not depending. I am not depending on my own strength. I'm not depending on my own knowledge. I'm not depending on my own wit, God, because I don't have any of that without you, because you are the source of everything that I am. And here it is, Moses. God is telling Moses, he said, I am with you. And Moses, in the relationship right now, is pivoting from trust to himself. And God is sending this message to us to help us, that when he tells us to do something, we don't pivot from the trust in the relationship to ourselves and what we want. But I want to deal with Moses' excuses, because somebody might would think Moses had valid reasons and excuses. And some he did, and in some he didn't. Because as we keep reading down in that very chapter, we find out what Moses' real problem was. Moses' real problem was not even his speech. Moses' issue that he was disguising with other reasons was just basically based off the fact that Moses was not willing. Come on here. And sometimes if we are not careful, we will be giving God reasons when the truth of the matter is we're not willing, or we don't really want to do it. Oh God. And I want to tell you something. God does not even get angry with you when it's something that you don't want to do. How many people have ever dealt with the feeling when God has told you to do something, in your heart you really didn't want to do it? It wasn't comfortable. And if you're not careful, you will religiously beat yourself up because you don't want to do it. Has anybody else ever done that too? You will religiously beat yourself up because you don't want to do it. And then you're sitting there and, oh God, I'm not so deep and I'm not so strong and I'm not this. No, watch this. The real problem does not come in until, watch this. It's not the problem of not wanting to do it. It's the problem of being unwilling to do it. Ooh, can I just get a wow right there? Because sometimes I don't want to cook. I don't beat myself up for not wanting to cook. But when I know what's best for the relationship and the particular situation that I am in, I have to move past what I feel and do what's best for my house. Come on here. I'm not going to beat myself up because I'm tired and I don't feel like cooking. Yes. I'm not going to beat myself up for that. But I am willing to check myself when I know spending is going to put us in an awkward situation that's going to only put more weight and pressure on the relationship. Come on. So sometimes I have to do it, and God does not hold me penalized for not wanting to do it. The penalty does not come in until I get to the place where I'm unwilling to do it. And then it puts more pressure and strain on the relationship, because now it means that I'm not doing what's best for the relationship. I'm not doing what's best for the household. I'm only doing what's best for me. Woo. Oh my God. So the problem with Moses was not even the fact that he didn't want to do it. Because let's just be honest. Jesus did not want to be on the cross. Oh my God. As we get ready to go into Easter Sunday and celebrate what he did on the cross, he did not want to do it. If you go back and read the scripture, he didn't even really want to do it because it was painful to him. It was uncomfortable for him. But he said, because I value this relationship and I do not want to cause a breach in the trust that we have developed and established, he said, I will do it even if it's uncomfortable for me. He said, I don't want to do it, but I'm willing. Come on here. Oh my God. I'm willing to do it, God, because I know that you're with me in it, because you would have never told me to do it if you wasn't going to be with me. Oh, I need for somebody to just catch that, because sometimes if we're not careful, again, we will be questioning if he's with us, and we're not questioning if he's with us because he said he wasn't going to be there. We're not really questioning that because we know that he's with us. Sometimes it's the fact that we really don't want to do it that the question arouses from. So now Moses is having to deal with the root of all of his excuses now. Just like we have to do. All the things that I made excuses of, and you oftentimes hear people say, well, I'm just human. I'm just human. No, that's just your excuse. That is a fact that you are human. But when God gives you a word to do something, that means he gives you supernatural, superhuman strength to be able to do it. So you no longer have the reason or the excuses not to do it. Now you got to have enough trust to do what he said, even if it means that you are uncomfortable in it, even if it means that you don't get what you want out of it right then and there. But you got to have enough trust, faith, and confidence in God to do it anyway, to keep the relationship that you have with him in good standings, knowing that what his word says, it's gonna all work for your good. Do you not know that Moses could have avoided some of the problems that he had with Aaron if he had just done what God told him to do? Huh? Oh my God. I want y'all to go back and read that and think about that a little bit more in depth. Some of those problems that he had, he would not have had them had he had just did what God told him to do and trusted God. When God tells you that he is with you, there is no external force that can stop the plan of God. I want you to get this. When God tells you that he is with you, there is nothing external that can stop it. But there is something within you that can stop it. There are so many things that God has purposed and planned for us. And sometimes if we are not careful, we will go straight to the external enemy. We will go to the thing that's fighting us. We will go to the thing that looks like it does not want us to have it. And we never deal with the internal enemy. Moses' enemy was internal. He didn't want to do it. He didn't want to do it. And again, I'm not even going to sit here and beat you up or give you scripture to make you feel bad about something that you don't want to do. Because what I'm going to try to put your attention on, even if you don't want to do it, are you available? Are you available? And some of us can look at our lives and we can say, okay, God, I didn't want to be celibate. But if it means that I get to be in a position where I get to show you that I trust you, I'll do it. I'll go without the things that I want. I'll go without the things that I desire. I won't have him to come over. I won't have her to come over. I won't lay with her. She won't lay with me if it means that I get to show you that I trust you. Now, God, I can be honest with you. It's not something that I want to do, but it is something that I'm willing to do. Come on. Oh my God. Can I just get some people that are in that vein right there? Because it just got real. Did nobody throw no hands up? No, nothing. Let me for my single folks and you know, even I want my, yeah, there we go. I even want my married folks to do that, because sometimes we also are tempted with things. Come on here. God, I don't want to do it, but I'm willing to do it. I don't like it, but I'm willing to do it. It don't feel good, but I'm willing to do it because I know that you're with me. I know that you're with me. God, I don't want to be quiet right here because he done made me mad. But if it means that I get to show you that I trust you and I know that you're going to work it out, I'll keep my mouth closed, God. I'll get in here and I'll cook and I'll clean and I'll do the other stuff that I'm supposed to do to be the good wife that I'm supposed to be the godly wife that you've called me to be. Even when I want to say something, God, I won't do it because I'm trying to show you that I trust you, because you told me to keep my mouth closed because you said that you got it and you're going to handle it. Sometimes with tears rolling down my face. I'm going to do it because that's what you said. God, I'm not going to post this subliminal message on social media to let them know where I'm at, God, because you told me what you was going to do. God, I'm not going to start the argument. It's something I could say. The clothes basket is right there, and I don't know why the clothes happened to get on the floor. I don't know if the clothes basket got a hole in it or not. I don't know, God. I don't know, but I'm not going to say anything. Can my married women just help Pastor Fran out right there? I'm not going to say nothing, God, because you told that the clothes basket might have a hole in it. I don't know. I checked it and it was brand new. But somehow or another, the socks and the drawers and all of that still ended up on the floor. God, I'm willing to, because you with me, because I know you got me. And because I want to show you that I trust you in this thing, because I want to walk into the fullness of everything that you have for me. Watch this. Because the children of Israel were never able to walk out of Egypt until first Moses walked into what God told him to walk into. Come on here. Do you not know that there are some people that cannot walk out of their situation until you fully walk into the trusting relationship, knowing that God is with you to do what he has called you to do? You're wondering why some people are still in their bondage. It's not just because, watch this, that they don't want to come out. They're waiting on you to come in. They're waiting on you to come into the fullness of what God has called you to walk into, because their deliverance is dependent upon you walking into it. That's why some of your children have not come out yet. It's because God is waiting on you to walk into the fullness of what he called you to walk into, because you're going to be their Moses that brings them out by the power and the word of the Lord. But you got to have enough trust. Do you not know your obedience is going to have impact that far exceeds you? This is why Moses had to get over himself, because his obedience was going to have more impact than just on him. Oof. And this is why the enemy tries to center us and anchor us into how it feels to us, because he never wants us to be able to operate and think about the other people that are going to be impacted by our obedience. When God is with you, it's just not about you. Other people are going to be delivered. Other people are going to be set free. And this is why the enemy wants you so focused on how you feel. I feel lonely. I feel this, and I just can't do it. No, sometimes it's not that you can't do it. It's the fact you just don't want to do it. But when you prioritize your relationship with God over everything else, you find the strength to do it. Come on here. You find the strength. You find the courage, you find the confidence to do it. Already, you have no idea, and the people's lives is going to be impacted by what you are doing because of your relationship with God. Your life is going to be a testament to people, specifically other women, that you can do this thing. Yeah, you're going to have to fight through some cravings, and you're going to have to fight through some nights and some days. But watch this. God is with me. Your impact is going to far exceed you. And as well as some others. It's just not Aretta. We got Tiffany. We got LaShawn. We got Evangelist Bromel. And that's just on, we got Tiffany. We got T. I'm going to do this God's way. Because I now understand that this is just not about me. And then on the marriage side, we got Crystal, we got Bridget, we got Tanya, we got Miss Latrell. We're living this thing. You got Pastor Fran, we're living this thing. We're sometimes having to keep our mouth closed. Come on. And not say the stuff that we want to say, because we're trying to do things to cultivate the relationship. We're trying to do things to keep the relationship strong. And guess what? We're going to be here for when our single women get married, and we're going to be here to counsel them and tell them how to go through it. Because trust me, being single ain't the real battle. Oh my God. Can I get my married folks to encourage my single ladies? And can I get my married men to encourage the single men? The real battle is not being single. Because watch this, you only have you to deal with when you single, but when you married, you got some more folks you got to deal with. You got some other personalities that you got to deal with. And trust me, if you can't trust God for your singleness, you're going to struggle to trust God in your togetherness. Woo, oh my God. And you're going to need to know that God is with you. Can I just get my married folks to unmute their mic and just say amen? Come on. Y'all bless the church on. Let them hear you. Come on here and say that. Amen. Amen. We got the men speaking up. Because sometimes we can be trouble. Come on. Sometimes we don't have it all together either as women. And they need God to help them to deal with us, just like we need God to help us deal with them. Come on. Let's just be truthful about it. Amen. And we thank God for being with us and carrying us through it. Okay, my husband just threw up some hands. Don't throw up too many more now. Come on. But nevertheless, we thank God. And we need him. And we got to be sure and be confident. And I'm going to say that again. Being single is not the hardest state. I'm telling you. Because like I said, when you're single, you really only have to deal with you. But when you are in covenant, you got to deal with that other person. You can walk away with no penalties, no nothing when you're single. When you just in boyfriend and girlfriend status, you can leave and, oh, bye, I don't like you. And ain't got to give no other reasons. But when you are in covenant before God, that's different. That's different. That's different. It's different. And again, if you can't trust God when you're single, you're going to struggle to trust God in your togetherness. And that's when the real tests come. And you're going to need those people that have walked this thing out. You're going to need those people that can tell you God will carry you through. How do they know that God can carry you through? Because they've let God carry them through. They knew that God was with them. And they developed and they worked on those levels of trust to build the relationship to carry them through. I came to serve notice and to just give you the word of encouragement that God is with you. But even in the relationship, at whatever stage your relationship is, we got to always be making sure that the relationship is about both parties and not just one person. Catch that. Making sure that the relationship is about both parties and not one person. And making sure that it's not just so focused on what you want that you don't do what's best for the relationship. When God is with you, there is nothing that you deal with, whether external or internal, that his word will not carry you through, that his word will not empower you through. But sometimes, oftentimes, more times than not, you have to first deal with your internal enemies that fight, that is not willing and does not want to do it, so that you can be full, whole, and made complete in the things of God.